Hello and welcome to my frame hanging calculator spreadsheet tool. This tool will enable you to be able to hang pictures of any size on any size wall very simply and easily just by entering a few numbers, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples as to how to do that so you have an idea how the spreadsheet works. So in the first example, we're going to enter in the yellow cells just some numbers, the number of frames between 1 to 4 to hang side by side. Now obviously if there's one frame you can't hang it side by side to anything, but you can hang up to 4 with this tool. So we'll say 1 for the time being, and you can see there's a drop down for as many as you have, and it'll show you what it will look like, just a general square as to the different paintings that you have. And so all measurements are formatted in inches and formatted as a fraction. So 1.25 will equal 1 1/4, which is the right conversion for that decimal into a fraction format. So you can enter it either as the decimal or as the fraction. So the first thing you want to do is enter the frame width, and the frame width is just going to be the measurement from the outside of your frame from the left to the right. So let's just say, for example, our frame is 10 inches in width. And then in height, we're going to do the same thing from top to bottom, and we'll say that this is a 15-inch frame. Now you'll automatically start to see some things down the bottom here. Don't worry about that. At this point in time, we need to enter more information in order to make this work properly. The next thing you're going to do is enter the usable wall width. And so we're going to enter in the amount of space that we have to hang our pictures from left to right. So if you have a wall that is 4 feet wide, then we're going to enter in that equivalent 48 inches, because 12 times 4 feet is 48 inches. We're also going to enter the wall height, and typical walls are 8 feet or 9 feet tall. So we'll just say 8 feet, which is 96 inches. And then the eye level as to where you want the midpoint of the frame, because what we're going to do is we're going to put all these frames at the exact same midpoint going across the wall. So normally this is about 60 inches, and we'll put that in. Now some numbers popped in up below, but let me just add one more thing here. If you are placing a frame above a table or a sofa or a headboard, you want to put the top height of that as measured from the floor. So if there's a sofa there and that sofa is 32 inches high, you can enter 32 in here and it will make the adjustments as needed in the calculator. So we're not going to do anything with that right now, but just to know that that's there, and it'll make the appropriate adjustments if we need to. Now what this will do is, now that it has entered all the information, it's going to calculate all of these different things, and you see the numbers popped up down here. The first number that's popping up is the top edge of the frame is measured up from the floor. So this is taking the height of the frame and measuring it up from the floor so that it's at the midpoint of the wall height. So that's saying that the top edge of the frame is going to be 67.5 inches from the floor, and that would mean that the bottom portion of the frame as measured up from the floor will be 15 inches less than that at 52.5. So the bottom is going to be at 52, the top is going to be 67.5. And then we're going to do the same thing from the width of the frame, and we know that we want it centered on the 48-inch wall and that our frame is 10 inches wide. So the left side of the frame is going to start 19 inches from the left side of the wall. So if the left side of the wall is 0, the left side of the frame is going to be at 19. The frame is 10 inches wide, and so the right side of the frame will end 29 inches from the left side of the wall. And then down at the bottom here, you'll see that is an indicator as to determine whether there is enough wall space for this configuration, and I'll go into that in a moment. But to follow through with the example, if you want a more visual example, we do have a printout tab that is to the right here, and you can click on it and it'll put the one frame right in the middle of the screen there, and it'll say, you know, the left side of the wall is 0, which is what we said. The left side is 19, the midpoint is 24, the right side is 29, and the right side of the wall is 48. And it has your top of your frame and your bottom of your frame calculations there as well. So everything's there for you. All you have to do is do the measurements, and everything will be where it needs to be. Just to show you one other quick example, I'm going to add a second painting here, and a couple other fields pop up. And so this frame, let's say that it's 13 inches wide, and it is, I don't know, 36 inches tall. And then we have space between each frame. So we want to know if we're going to have a small space between the frame, or we're going to have a large space between the frame, but we want it centered on the wall. So we want to make sure that everything is lined up correctly. So I can play around with this. Let's say I want to have 10 inches between the two, and the numbers will change. But let's say I want to have, I don't know, 25 inches between the two. You'll notice that instantly down bottom, the wall width is now too small for this configuration. So it will help you to determine whether or not you're going to have enough space before you even start doing anything. So we'll just change this back to 10 for our example. And you'll see that the numbers for the picture 1 are here. And the top and the bottom edge of the frame are not changing because we're not changing the midpoint of where we're looking. But the left edge and the right edge have now changed to accommodate the second painting that's also being centered on the wall with the second painting. So the second painting, because it is longer, it's going to have a higher top edge and a lower bottom edge, so 78 and 42 respectively. And you just make those measurements and hang it right on the wall. And the left edge is still coming from the left side of the wall. So this is 27.5 inches from the left side of the wall. And then the right edge of the frame is 40.5 inches from the left side of the wall as well. And again, you can go to the Output tab, and it'll show you all of the different points, including the top frame and bottom frame measurements that are needed to accommodate the frame. So I hope this helps, and I hope that you download my file here, and if there's anything that you need, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be glad to help. Thank you.